Yo, so this video only really covers part 1 of what is supposed to be a part 2 update, and the main content released as of now is a Christmas themed currency and a Christmas themed boss NPC that like kind of randomly spawns around the map. I'll also make a video covering part 2 when that comes out. I don't know when. Supposedly meant to be Friday. It's Thursday when I'm recording this, so you know I'm doing this quite late. But the new currency added for this event is called candy canes. You know, since it is a Christmas event, these candy canes can be exchanged for various things at the Santa NPC. It's located across the bridge, just before the Shady Dogs are. I'll throw a picture up on screen kind of showing where it is. Yeah, but you can exchange them for money, and the exchange rates are 10 candy canes for 2,500 cash, 25 candy canes for 5,000 cash, 50 candy canes for 25k, 100 candy canes for 55k, 250 candy canes for 150k. You can also exchange your candy canes for tokens, with the exchange rates being 5 candy canes for 25 tokens, 10 candy canes for 50 tokens, 50 candy canes for 250 tokens, 100 candy canes for 550 tokens, 250 candy canes for 1500 tokens. There's also an accessories tab when talking to the NPC. There's only 2 options as of now, being 750 candy canes for the winter gauntlets and 10,000 candy canes for a tattoo that gets a 10% stat buff. You might be wondering why it's so expensive for the tattoo. That's because normal tattoos only give 5% when you farm the bosses. This one gives 10%, so it gives double the usual tattoo, but it can also drop from elves. So if you're farming elves, you do have a slight chance of getting it there as well, instead of having to grind 10,000 candy canes. You can obtain these candy canes from fighting these elves. The elves also will drop a small portion of candy canes, tokens, and cash when you find them and you beat them in a fight. How you find them is pretty much just like how you would find bosses. I have a short tutorial video up on the best way I personally think how to farm elves. But basically you just find them through circling the map how you normally would. They all spawn at the normal boss locations, and they have a chance to spawn between I think 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know if that's exact. That's just what I was told by Coffee. It's like 3 to 5 minutes. Every 3 to 5 minutes, do like a little circle around the map. Like I said before, they also have a chance to drop that tattoo. You can also do them in a party, up to 5 people. You all get dragged in. Depending on how many people there are, there'll be the exact amount of elves. So if there's 3 people in your party, there'll be 3 elves that you have to fight. Also in this update, all modes got their own traits, but are pretty much talents that kick in when you pop mode. These traits have rarities from mythic to common. However, unlike talents, like the rates for these traits are way better. They're not as harsh as talents, with mythic being 1% compared to 0.1%, and legendary being 5% compared to 0.9%. And the way you unlock these traits is through a TP requirement, like a total power requirement. Slot 1 unlocks upon reaching 1k TP, slot 2 unlocks upon reaching 1.5k TP, and slot 3 unlocks upon reaching 2k TP. I won't list all the traits currently available, but I will just list the traits that pique my interest instead of making you guys listen to me list like every single trait and what they do. But I will put the entire list of traits for each mode that I'm talking about on screen for you guys. Starting with Tokita's Clan Mode Advanced. Opening Blitz, the first skill you land after activating Advanced deals plus 50% damage. Perfect Flow, Nico style skills deal 15% more damage while using Advanced. And Limit Break Advanced. Advanced lasts 50 seconds longer. After that we have Kurei's Removal. Hunter, each knock you get while in removal adds plus 15 seconds to the current removal duration. Living Weapon. Living in removal, if any of your bones are broken, you gain plus 10% damage and plus 5% damage reduction with a max stack of 2. Endless Lineage, removal duration plus 45 seconds. Thirdly, we have Mikazuchi's mode, Lightning God. Overclock, each knock you secure during Lightning God makes you 5% faster but lowers mode timer by 10 seconds. Storm Hands, while Lightning God is active, Raishin style deals 10% more damage. God Hour, Lightning God duration plus 50 seconds. Divine Conduction, while Lightning God is active, all Raishin skills apply electrocution, healing 3% of the target's HP over 5 seconds. And for the last mode's traits, we have a brand new mode for Reinhold called Muscle Control. I'll go more into depth on the new mode later, but for now I'll just list the traits that I thought were cool. Colossus, increase muscle scaling by 10% while muscle control is active. Titan's Reign, muscle control duration plus 60 seconds. Meat Shield, While muscle control is active, gain 360 degrees block. Now moving on from mode traits and on some core gameplay features that were added and tweaked. Again, I'm not going to be listing every single thing that was added or tweaked, only the key things that really affect gameplay on a day-to-day basis. 5 more limit breaks were added in this update, moving the total amount of limit breaks from 25 to 30. Unlike previous updates, the limit break cap for an individual stat has not moved and it's still 8 per stat. Team Deathmatch was also re-added as a playable game mode again. The amount each limit break for strength, endurance, stamina and agility gives was adjusted. An example pre-update, 5 limit breaks on agility lets you get to 2000 without, the red numbers showing up. Now with this adjustment, 5 limit breaks will only put you up to 1750. I'm recalling this part again. Since I said this, I believe it was reverted because I have 6 LPs on agility and I'm at 2k and I was told that it's gone back to 2.5k for 6 LBs. The amount of money you can hold on your character at one time is 150k. Focus now drains slowly out of combat. If you dodge an attack, you get a tiny bit of the focus spent back. Pull up gains were buffed to match curl up gains. In my experience so far, this is a really good buff and makes it insanely easy to farm durability. Like I've gone from like 2.2k to 2.5k in like a day. So it's really good. Vest and weight limbs now work with curl ups, meaning strength will be a lot easier to grind from now on. The 1.3 times stat boost we all get on the weekend is now visible in the stat check menu and it's displayed as a 30% buff on the weekend. If you are under 1k TP, you get a slight stat gain boost of 1.2. You can now exchange tokens for cash by talking to the NPC located at the bank. At the time of recording, this option is no longer available. I can't get the exchange rates for you guys, but from what I can remember, exchanging your tokens for cash was like not really worth it at all, so that's probably why it was removed. The gang base now has a massive expansion option that is bought through the computer inside the gang base like every other upgrade. It costs 5 million like Fistborn cash in-game money. It may seem expensive, but I think it's pretty worth it considering it comes with like a ton of equipment and like infinite food, drinks and supplements like protein shake, energy drinks, donuts, all stacked up on the shelf. And you can also obtain your own personal Shady Doctor. You will boost a gain on a stat of your choice for 4 hours with a 12-hour cooldown each time. This update muscle also got a massive rework, which in my opinion made it like way more balanced than before. Muscle debuffs now start at 200 muscle, which creates a more clear line between lean and not lean. Going past 500 muscle will stop you from using lean styles and lock you to the 2 heavy styles, those 2 styles being sumo and wrestling. Also going past 500 muscle will also cap your fat to 500, so you can't be tanky as fuck and do fuck ton of damage. You gotta kind of like sacrifice something. Debuffs are made faster at lower muscle, and now the debuffs from muscle will cap out at 2k, so making going past 2k way more worth it than it was before. Health buffs given from muscle are much slower at lower muscle. Muscle will now affect the amount of stamina gain you get. It says in the patch notes that at 2k muscle you will gain like 3 times more stamina than a lean player, which is kind of wild. For every 100 muscle above 800 muscle will now give you 0.5% damage reduction per 100 muscle. When you have 2k muscle, you now gain hyper armor on your M2s. I think all these are good changes for muscle and also good nerfs. I think some of these needed to be done and some of these are good buffs, to kind of make up for the massive nerfs that all the muscle players are gonna be experiencing in this update. There are many more minor changes, but like I'm not gonna cover them all since they aren't that major. But I personally think that most of these changes that I did mention are just like overall extremely very healthy for the game. Now moving on to the new talents, I'll start off with the new mythic and legendary talents, then work my way down to the new rare ones. If you guys want to skip past this part and only hear like the mythics and the legendaries, that's fine, because this is like quite a long part. So first off, I'll start with the mythics. You have Fist Eye. Your dodges cost more focus, but dodge frames last 15% longer. Then you have Black Flash. Attacks now give less focus and your focus drains while in combat, but skills now have a chance based on your focus to Black Flash. Then you have Phase Shift. While above 50% health, do 15% more damage but take 10% more. Else, do 10% less damage and take 15% less. Prodigy. Can learn and use pure skills with 2 style skills. Supreme Genetics. 15% increased gain on all stats. Now moving on to legendaries. Superior Genetics. 10% increased gain on all stats. Iron Lungs. Stamina pausing skills now affect you less. Perfect Weave. 10% less dodge frames, but successfully dodging an attack gives you some stamina and focus back. Centered Mind. 20% decreased focus costs for dodges, but increases your dodge cooldown. Now moving on to the rares. Combat medic, lowest stamina drain and allows running while carrying. Big pockets, wallet cap increases by 50%. And steady breathing, stamina regen increases by 10%. There were also some talent changes, but I won't be mentioning those since they're not all that major apart from maybe 1 or 2. I will also not be talking about bug fixes. In fact, I'll just put them all up on screen right now so you guys can kind of see all the bug fixes. In my opinion, in this update, they fixed a lot of things that needed to be fixed and a lot of bugs that people were often complaining about. You know, I can't remember how many times I've been pinged, you know, because I'm only a tester, you know, I can't actually fix the game for you guys, so please stop pinging me. But I can't remember like the amount of times I've actually been pinged and these people ask me to fix this bug or push this bug on, but like I've already pushed this bug on and it's just like a matter of time. So I'm glad that they fixed this. It shows that the developer team does actually listen to you guys. Like for example, some settings got added this update, like tattoo vanity. A lot of people were asking for that and now it's finally here. Like a lot of other minor tweaks and changes and some ideas in general were added to this update, which proves that, you know, the dev team does listen. But moving on from that, in my opinion, the most notable thing this update for me, like the updated visuals for 80% removal and stage 3 Tokia clan advance. I'll show these alongside the brand new mode for Reinhold, but I won't speak over these clips because they have their own audio tracks. Might be a slight bias, but Tokia is like 100% my favorite. I think it looks so fucking sick. I was begging, somehow, some way they implement like a Sekiro factor to the game. I don't know if Dome listened to me when they were making this or whoever made it. I don't know if they were listening to me, but it reminds me of when you pop Tokia mode, the kanji that pops up definitely reminds me of like the Sekiro death symbol. It is so cool. Like even the noise it plays, it kind of sounds like the Sekiro like death attack, you know, like if you can't parry the attack, that's what plays. That might just be me though, and might be a bit biased. Sekiro is like my favorite game of all time. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that's going to be in this update for now. I'll definitely make a video on part 2 because you know, I enjoy talking in these videos, like voiceovers and stuff. I enjoy it a lot. Now, I'll definitely make a video on part 2 of this update. It's going to be filled with content, way more. Coffee even said part 2 will have way more content than part 1.